Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I came up with an interesting movie called Don't Move, which was released in 2024. Takes a terrifying what if scenarios and turns it into a highly stressful 85 minutes fight for survival, which was directed by Adam Schindler and Brain Netto and produced by Sam Raimi. It's a tight thriller that asks a very dark question. How do you escape a serial killer when your own body is shutting down? So the core story of this movie is, at its heart, this is the story about rediscovering the will to live. We meet Iris, a grieving mother who is so heartbroken over the accidental death of her young son that she is standing at the edge of the cliff attempting to kill herself. A seemingly kind, handsome stranger named Richard talks her out of jumping by sharing his own tragic past. But as soon as Iris chooses to leave and walks back to the parking lot with him, Richard reveals his true nature. He attacks her with a stun gun, kidnaps her, and injects her with a paralytic drug. The horrifying hook of the movie is the drug takes exactly 20 minutes to fully set in. Iris has just enough time to run, fight, and hide in the wilderness before she becomes completely trapped inside her own motionless body. Here's a spoiler alert. If you dig deep into the movie, here is how the nightmares plays out. First, the escape. Iris wakes up zip tied in the back of Richard's car. She manages to cut her bonds and attack him, causing a violent car crash. She escapes into a deep woods, but the 20 minutes clock is ticking. We watch as she slowly loses control of her limbs, her speech, and her gross motor functions, eventually dragging her heavy body into a rushing river just to wash away from him. In the next scene, we have the cabin and the standoff. The river carries a completely paralyzed Iris to the backyard of a remote cabin owned by an older man. Bill takes her inside to help, just as Richard shows up playing the role of Iris' frantic, worried husband. A tense psychological game of cat and mouse happens in the living room. While Iris is hidden behind the couch, only able to blink, Bill sees through Richard's lies and fights back. But Richard brutally kills the old man and sets the cabin on. Miraculously, Iris manages to twitch just enough to alert Richard, who pulls her off the flames so he can finish the job himself. Richard captures her, steals Bill's truck, and hits the road. Along the way, they stop at the gas stations where Iris tries and fails to blink a distress signal to a little girl. Shortly after, a suspicious highway patrol officer pulls the truck over just as the cop figures out something is wrong. Richard murders him, piling up the body count. And finally, the climax. Richard takes Iris out onto a remote lake in a rowboat, tying weights to her so he could drown her. However, the drug is finally starting to wear off. Iris regains just enough arm to grab a knife and stab Richards through the neck. She grabs the dead cop's gun him and fires. The bullet fears the boat, causing it to sink with the paralyzed Iris in. But Iris manages to swim to the dock as her mobility slowly returns. Richard washes to the shore nearby, bleeding out from his wounds. Iris stands over the man who tortured her and simply says, "Thank you." It's a twisted but powerful ending. By forcing her to fight so desperately for her life, the killer cured her of her desire to end it. So was it worth? So should you watch it? I would say definitely. But there are some good points and some things to be done better. But the good points comes like incredible tension. The central concept is fantastic. Watching Iris trying to outsmart a killer when she is completely immobile, using nothing but her eyes or a single twitch of a finger is incredibly stressful. And the villain, played by Finn, steals the show as Richard. He's charming, manipulative, and chillingly quick on his feet when he needs to lie his way out of a trouble. It's a fast-paced. It's around 85 minutes. The movie does not overstay its welcome. It gets straight to the point and keeps foot on the gas. And the things that could have been done better is like heavy plot armor. You have to suspend your disbelief quite a bit. Iris survives a massive car crash without even getting a small injuries. And she washes down the river to a land exactly where the guy happens to be moving in his cabin and manages to perfectly execute a knife attack while still mostly paralyzed. But the final verdict is it is a must watch. If you love fast paced thrillers and don't mind turning your brain off to ignore a few convenient potholes, Don't Move is a highly entertaining popcorn movie. It is a fun, suspenseful, and a thriller ride for a weekend night that will definitely have you holding your breath. Thank you. And it's available in the Netflix. Do watch it. We'll come up with the next movie. Until then, take care. Bye bye.